Hey everybody, back again. So my devotion this morning, Isaiah chapter 50, verse 7. So still in Isaiah, and the verse says, "Because the sovereign Lord helps me, I will not be disgraced. Therefore have I set my face like flint, and I know I will not be put to shame." So as I'm doing the study this morning, I've heard the word flint before. I'm a country boy. I've heard of flint knives, and so I know it's a stone, something that is solid, something that's firm, something that it doesn't move. It's unshakable. That's kind of word we're looking at. It's flint. If you back up to verse 6 and get the full context of what's going on, it really puts this word into perspective of what he's talking about, where it says, "Therefore I have set my face like flint, and I know I won't be put to shame." So here's verse 6 so that we can get the full context. "I offered my back to those who beat me, my cheeks to those who pulled out my beard. I did not hide my face from mocking and spitting, because the sovereign Lord helps me. I will not be disgraced. Therefore have I set my face like flint, and I know I will not be put to shame." So this is another prophetic passage in the book of Isaiah. This is one of the suffering servant passages. It's prophetic because it's prophesying the suffering of Christ right before he goes to the cross. Talking about, I offered my back to those who beat me and my cheeks to those who pulled out my beard. So what Christ is saying, or the prophecy of Christ's suffering, what he's saying is, during the beating and the suffering that I'm going to take, I'm offering my back to them. As they pull out the hair from my beard, I'm offering my cheeks to them. I don't hide my face from it. I don't hide my face from their mocking or their spitting, because the sovereign Lord helps me. I will not be disgraced. Therefore, I set my face like flint. Now, okay, so we got the full context and what it's looking towards. It's looking towards the future of the suffering of Christ. And so let's pull the nugget out of here, okay? All right, so flint. In this suffering passage, Christ set his face towards persecution, towards suffering like flint. He was steadfast. He was resolute. He was firm. He was constant, unmovable, unshaken. Here I am. I'm not gonna back down from what the Lord's called me to do, from what my Father's called me to do. I'm gonna fulfill my ministry. I'm moving forward. Whatever it is that you're gonna, throw at me, I'm ready for it. I'm unmovable. I'm unshaken, because there's the reason why he can do this. Because the sovereign Lord helps me. He's saying my Father is sovereign. Right? Sovereign means that God has all the power, all the wisdom, has full authority to do anything that he wants to do in his creation. The sovereignty of God. Now, we as Christians fully believe that God, he has to be sovereign. If he's not, then he's not God. So because God is sovereign, you and I as Christians can follow the example of Christ and set our faces as flint towards persecution and towards suffering that may come upon us, because we are being faithful in what God has called us to do. That's what Christ is going to go through, because he's being faithful to what the Father's called him to do. He's headed to the cross, where he's going to die for the forgiveness of sin. So here's the nugget. All right, here's the nugget I pulled from the devotion this morning. Persecution and suffering. Persecution, let me count them out. Persecution, suffering are the litmus test for faithfulness. Now let that sink in for a second. if we're being truly faithful to what the Lord has called us to do, then we're going to experience persecution and suffering. The New Testament says that the gospel is a stumbling block for those who don't believe. It's offensive. And so if we're not experiencing persecution and suffering, then maybe we're not being as bold in our ministry as what we should be. Maybe we've become relaxed and just made it comfortable Christianity. Let it sink in. Take it to heart. Think about it. This is Pastor Shannon, just simply one counted among the redeemed. Have a blessed day.